Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to Scorpio season. And more importantly than that, Jupiter in Scorpio, which lasts a whole entire year. I know you guys are already feeling this. So, I just wanted to give a couple updates before we get into this month's readings. First, I hope you guys all saw the updates that I did on TheSpiritualSiren.com and the new way to book. It has been successful thus far, so check it out if you haven't already, because I also launched new services. Also, we are just under 300 people shy of 11K subscribers. Thank you guys all so much. It's mind-blowing to see how quick our community has grown. And I say our because what am I without you guys, you know? So in celebration of that, for the whole month of November, I'm doing a little bit different of a reading special for $11.11, so 11.11. You can get a 2-card pull emailed to you, so a written reading, something that I right now don't offer. So if you're interested in that, you can either DM me on Twitter or email me directly. It's not going to be listed on my site because it's conducted differently than my other readings. So for the whole month of November, okay? A 2-card pull, written response for 11/11. Also, some of you know I recently got sober from alcohol, and I'm wondering if anyone would be interested in me vlogging my thoughts about it. Not because it's for everybody, not that kind of thoughts, but just what I'm personally going through as a spiritual being called to be sober. If you're interested in those kind of vlogs, comment below and let me know. Also, I did what I call a transmission the other day, and I posted it. It was about 5 minutes long. It was titled Life is Ritual. If you guys are interested in more stuff like that, also comment below because I would love to share more of those kind of things with you guys if you're interested in it. So let me know. Also, so you guys know how obviously in all my videos you can see from about here to my waist. So I'm looking to work with jewelry and clothing companies that are small business, primarily ones owned by women of color. I'm looking to collaborate with those kind of brands, those small independent women like myself, to cross promote. So if you do that, if your brand aligns with my work and you would like to do some type of teaming up and working together, please comment below. Or if you have a favorite brand, please email me, reach out to me. I've been doing this on my other platforms as well. Because hey, we're out here building a spiritually conscious community, and I just want to help my sisters. So here we are. And then lastly, some of you have asked about my nails and what goes on my nails and who does my nails. And I'm now tagging my nail tech's Instagram in the description box. As always, all of my contact information and how to book a private reading with me is also in the description box. So always look there before contacting me directly about services. Other than that, I know some of you are probably disappointed you didn't get love readings again last month, but if you knew how my guides operated, even in my own personal guidance, dealing with my own life, they don't like to give up love advice. Okay, all the my regular psychic that I see, I never get any love advice. My guides are very anti-focusing on love, so I apologize for that. But as you can see, I'm officially moving into my new office, so we will have a lot more consistency going forward, and I'm really excited. I had a couple clients sign up for the new services, and everything went really well with the past life reading and the Skype consultations. And don't forget, I'm really excited about the service Siren Squad Support, which is $25 for the month. It starts November 1st, and you get to email me with whatever questions or concerns you may have at the time, and I just support you via email. It's not a tarot-based service. It's an emotional support service, so check that out. That's also on my site. It's underneath group services. And let's get into the readings. Bye. All right, Gemini. So we have the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands. So this is feeling a little bit like more money, more problems, right? with a new level of wealth, with a new level of financial understanding and acquisition. There can be a new level of responsibility that is required of you that you have not yet adjusted to yet. There's something that has to do with your family dynamics and how the money flows through your family dynamics, through your household. And I don't think you're overwhelmed necessarily. Like, this card can be overwhelming, but I don't think that you're particularly overwhelmed. I think that more than anything, you are just not yet adjusted to carrying this load. Because look, behind this is the Queen of Pentacles. So you're just new to stepping into your role, Gemini. Yeah. And it's a new place, right? Judgment. It's a crossroads. It's a transition. So don't beat yourself up that you don't have all the answers and you haven't figured out how to alleviate yourself yet of the stresses that comes with this, right? This new responsibility that I'm feeling like other people rely on you, Gemini, that they didn't before. And that kind of pressure makes you nervous, right? Because you kind of like to be free and untethered. But it'll be okay. It's just going to take an adjustment period, okay? You know, I wasn't even thinking before when the Ten of Pentacles came up in another sign's reading. November, we do have holidays, right? So you may be feeling overwhelmed by what to do around the holidays, or to engaging with your family might be a little overwhelming, or you might not have the money to fly home or fly your parents out or whatever, fly your kids out, or to cook the meal, things like that. Or maybe you got a raise at your job or a promotion, and now you have more responsibilities and you have to work. Okay. All right, Gemini. So we got a lot going on here. I know you can see that I have a lot more cards than usual. Let me back this up a little bit. A lot wants to come out in your outcome. I think that there's a lot of support coming for you. And, you know, you recently in the end of October made a transition, right? You embraced Scorpio season, the need to change, the need to evolve, even though it's in conjunct your sign. So it's probably still jarring to you, even though, like, the transition, the dust hasn't settled yet. Okay, but we have the Queen of Swords as the overall energy this month, Gemini. So everything is very much about you. And just everything that's about you. I think you are planning your future. I think that you are, you know, Geminis always have a really strong social circle, but I think that you're going to place a little bit more value on it, in the sense that, like, I think that you're going to deepen some friendships. Gemini, I love Geminis. Every Gemini I know, you know, they're great to go out with, but Geminis don't tend to have, like, a lot of close friends. Like, people think they're Gemini's close friends, but in reality, Gemini doesn't care. Gemini, I think this month you're gonna start to seek some close friendships that align with you spiritually and allow you space to heal. People that can heal with you. Okay? You're seeing how you have to prioritize yourself in a new way in order to secure the future that you've always wanted, regardless of your age. And things aren't going to change overnight because, you know, you just did go through a transition, but it was like the pivot point. Because in what we need to release this month is the Lovers, which is also your card, in the Rune Future, and Death. So you made a choice already that was going to, not to sound too faded, alter your future. You know, you chose. Because the Lovers talks about having a choice, and there's two roads you can take. You can take the higher octave, or you can take the lower octave, so to speak. And I think most of you chose the higher octave, but you're nervous because you know it requires a certain level of accountability and to show up. And not that you're not up for the task, but it's just like, ooh, like, okay, yeah, I'm this Gemini childlike person, but I have to like really, I have to like really do this thing. You know, I can't just flim flam around with it. Okay. Because the death card is a surrender. So, you know, let the pieces continue to crumble. You've made a choice that's transitioning your future, and you just need to continue to surrender and know that it's going to take time for things to make sense. It's going to take time for you to see the bigger picture. And I know that doesn't necessarily bother you, but it is going to require you to hone in your focus to a certain extent, right? Queen of Swords, be future focused. Okay, you're not going to be able to meddle in the now and allow your kind of like ADD like spirit to scatter around. You're going to have to focus yourself. That is the challenge this month, Gemini. I almost said Scorpio, Gemini. The door that's now open to you that was once closed. We have the Knight of Cups with the rune female, and clarified by the Knight of Pentacles in the rune standstill. So, you know, for those of you that do creative work for a living, right? The arts, in however, you know, how blanketed that is. There is like a kink, so to speak, in your plans. I think that because the Knight of Pentacles is already a very slow energy. It's a very methodical, well thought out, hyper diligent to detail type of energy. And though it talks about long-term planning, with the rune standstill here, I think that in some regard, for those of you that do cups, that do work around Knight of Cups, like creative work, art, music, writing, things like that, I think that you're going to kind of like, this is feeling like a little bit like writer's block to me, or the future you had originally anticipated in this career is not going to go forward. It's not that your career in and of itself is not going to go forward. It's just the plan that you had crafted for your creative work is not the way it's going to go. Okay? With the Knight of Cups in female, for those of you that are male watching this and waiting for a female to come and make an offer to you, whether it be financial or just someone that you wanted, you know, an emotional offer from to build a future with, I would not hold your breath on that offer, okay? Yeah, Temperance. You need to be patient with the launching of your career, especially if it is in the arts, right? Four of Swords. This is going to be a time where you're probably going to do more reflecting than writing, right? More reflection than creation. And that's mostly because there's a call to turn inward and to not that you don't self-reflect through creative work, you totally do, but Spirit is just forcing you to tap in a new way. For those of you that don't do creative work and are not waiting for an offer or anything like that, this is more just saying like, one, you may just have to focus on business right now and love is not coming right now. It's just not. But either way, whatever you have like diligently planned for the future, especially if you're a woman, and especially if love is involved in your plan, it's not that it's never going to happen for you. It's just not going to happen the way that you have designed it to happen, because you made a pivotal choice. And ultimately you made the best decision, but we have plans as humans that we think are best. And in reality, you know, that's Spirit knows best. Okay. Your energy as it relates to all this, In your head, we have the Seven of Wands. In your heart, we have the Nine of Swords with the rune Trust and Home. And in your foundation, we have the Page of Pentacles. So with the Page of Pentacles in your foundation, I think in some regard, it's a little bit back to the drawing board. Even though you have ascended, I need you to understand that, even though you have ascended, in some regards, back to the drawing board, because in terms of long-term plans, it's not like everything that you're doing is getting scrapped, okay? It's just the long-term vision of your life is going back to the drawing board. And you're realizing that there's still more to learn, which we always have more to learn, but you're coming into the realization that in some regards, you're a novice, but in a good way, right? Because when you're a novice, right, when you ascend to a higher level and you become level 1 again, it gives you something to be inspired to work towards. With the Nine of Swords in your heart, it's really imperative that you trust yourself and that you've made the right decision and that you know that you are always at home in your heart and that your heart is home and that your emotional truth is your center point, so to speak. So don't allow worries about things not being exactly as you had envisioned equate to failure, okay? Because that's not the case here. With the Seven of Wands in your head, I think that you're having a little bit of a difficult time adjusting to what it is that you really believe in what it is that you're willing to defend, and what ground you're willing to give up. It's like defending your dream a little bit. But remember, the Seven of Wands comes after the Six. The Six of Wands talks about being successful within a group, right? Being seen for your accomplishments. And the Seven of Wands, those people end up, you perceive them in some capacity. You could just be perceiving them as competition. So there's a theme here of like being able to discern who is on your team, right? And defending those people and defending your own agenda, and not just fighting off everyone that's asking something of you, right? Or fighting off everyone that's trying to help you, as well as getting your mind right? In some regard, I feel like you're trying to fight off these fears. And that's okay, because I know you don't want to feel them, and I know that in your head you know they're not valid. But the only way you're really going to eradicate these fears is through trusting in the source. And through trusting in your discretion and your connection to source to make decisions. That's what's going to get you over this emotional river, this emotional bridge. Okay? Spirit's advice for you is the Ace of Wands, clarified by the King of Pentacles, the King of Cups, Jesus, in the rune Constraint. So, for some of you, this is telling me that, particularly water sign men, but it doesn't have to be water sign men, it can just be men that appeal to your emotional body, right? That come to you and at the very least appear to be both logical and emotionally aware, right? So they really appeal to your emotional maturity. In some regard, I think they're going to constrain your creativity and your spirit, right? Your fire, your drive. And I think that's mostly because you already have so much going on right now. And of course, sexual energy is the same energy that we use to be creative. So if we're pouring out the energy through sex, we don't have the energy necessarily, the same amount anyways, to create. And it's not because that person is bad or they're like purposely trying to harvest energy from you or something like that. It's just that, it is what it is. Also, by constraining the time you spend focusing on your emotions, I think that you'll also only stay at phase 1 of reigniting or breaking out of this writer's block or like creative disruption that you're having, right? You need to tap in further. It's like, because you have the Queen of Cups back here, and I love the King of Cups, but in this regard, it's not what you're looking for, because the King of Cups values logic just as much as he values his emotions. And to really be creative and to really dive in head first, you kind of need to abandon the logic. And I think that's what Spirit is saying more than anything here. If you really want to take this spark to the next level and really own shit, you need to not let you need to get off your high horse a little bit and get down into the emotional mud, so to speak, okay? This is where the fun outcome stuff comes in. We have the Three of Cups coupled with the Queen of Cups in the rune healing, as well as the Seven of Pentacles in the Queen of Pentacles in the rune journey. So with the Three of Cups and the Queen of Cups in healing, I think that you will get a lot of healing from your ability to befriend people, or your willingness to befriend people that have emotional resonance with you. Also, I think that you will begin to heal your own emotional body and your connection to how creativity runs through that, right? Heal your creative flow if you prioritize fun and celebrating the small successes in life. As well as, it's important to remember that you're just in the part of your journey that you're not seeing manifestation. We cannot always see manifestation. Like, there has to be a gestation period, okay? And you're just in that. You're just in that. It is just your gestation period. Don't start second guessing your ability to produce and your ability to manifest. This is just a part of your journey that you need to believe in your innate power and not allow fear to decide the next step to take, and instead choose faith. Okay? That's really important. Oh, that was quick. After I told you guys no one's coming. I am in a joyous, intimate relationship with a person who truly loves me. My partner is the love of my life. We adore each other. Now, I just want to say that the only time I have personally drawn this affirmation is right after a breakup, that I never got to back together with that person. So the irony of this card is the reminder that there is no relationship more important than the one that you have with yourself. And until you romance yourself, until you love yourself the way that you'd always wish for a lover to love you, it's never going to happen. So it's time to have a love affair with yourself, Gemini, and fall in love with the journey and fall in love with the process and have a great time along the way. I hope you found resonance in these messages. It is my pleasure, and I'll be back with you soon. Peace.